Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a presentation of Learfield. Welcome to Duck Insider.
Our whole athletic department, there's a level of expectations of success.
Throw, catch, touchdown, Oregon.
He can run and slam.
This is back out for a three. Left wing is good.
In the air to center, back at the wall. It's out of here.
Really excited that we get to rep our Ducks and hopefully come back to Eugene with some championships.
Indoor track and field national champion. And for the fourth time in the last 6 years, the Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
We have so many teams that are excelling right now, and it's really fun to be a part of.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
Thank you. Going to be a busy day today. Rob Moseley, editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com, will be with us in just a little while. And I got to tell you, we had an awesome conversation with Nils Schyllander. He's the head coach of the Oregon men's tennis team. He is the longest tenured coach in the Oregon athletic department. Started as an assistant coach here in 1999, now the head coach of the men's tennis team. I always love my conversations with Coach Schyllander. We actually sat down with him yesterday, and I am so excited to play that interview for you here coming up in a little while, because he gives some great perspective on how much Oregon has grown in his now 21, 22 years here. And I think it's cool to talk with guys like that about the growth of the program and the programs. Now, I know everybody wants to know, do you have any updates? Who's being interviewed? Well, we're going to interview Nils Schyllander and Rob Moseley. But Rob Mullins and his team, working on the new head coach for Oregon football. When we have an announcement, we'll tell you. Until then, we're going to talk a little basketball tomorrow on the show. Also, Taylor Susanara, Oregon acrobatics and tumbling coach. We'll have her on the show for the first time. And we will talk football. Yes, I promise. Tomorrow, Toby Rowland is going to join us. He is the voice of the Oklahoma Sooners because we've got an Alamo Bowl to prepare for, a game that will match up two interim head coaches and two teams that have 10 wins. And yet the fan bases, I think, feel like the years were a little bit of a letdown because there wasn't a conference championship involved for either of these teams. Head coaches moving on to other jobs. It's odd having these two teams paired up together. It's the first time in the history of the Alamo Bowl that actually two 10-win teams are going to be playing each other. Weird that it's happening in this way. That's what's going on. Toby Rowland, though, he's an awesome guy. We're going to talk with him, get the view from the Oklahoma side of things tomorrow as well. So Rob Moseley's going to join us, editor-in-chief, GoDucks.com, coming up next segment, and then Nils Schyllander, our conversation with him in just a little while. Yesterday, we had such a busy show planned with Lisa Peterson and with Matt Ulmer. We told you about Oregon's really, really impressive list of all Pac-12 guys, but we didn't get a chance to really go through and do the big breakdown. So I want to do that because the Oregon football team was well represented on the All Pac-12 teams yesterday. 5 players for the first team, 2 on the second team, and 5 Ducks received honorable mention. Now, this is just me talking for a second. I felt like in years past maybe Oregon got a little snubbed or a lot snubbed on the All Pac-12 teams. I don't think that happened this year. I think that this squad was well represented. TJ Bass, Brandon Dorliss, Verone McKinley, Noah Sewell, and Kayvon Thibodeau were all selected to the first team by the conference's coaches, giving Oregon the second most first-team selections in the league. The 5 first-team honorees are the most for the program since the Ducks had 5 recognized in 2015. Oregon leads the conference with 4 first-team defensive selections. That's the most in program history, which tells you the studs that the Ducks had on defense. Alex Forsyth and Camden Lewis both landed on the second team. Oregon's 7 selections between the first and second teams are the third most in the conference this year. Popo Amavai, Anthony Brown, Travis Dye, Ryan Walk, and McHale Wright all earned honorable mention from the conference. And, the rest of the Pac-12, I know everyone's probably kind of curious about who else was well recognized? Well, as you can imagine, Utah was. The offensive player of the year, though, was Drake London from USC. The defensive player of the year was Devin Lloyd. Duck fans saw how good he was for Utah. Jaden DeLauro was the offensive freshman of the year, the quarterback for Washington State. The defensive freshman of the year was Junior Tafuna. He's coming from Utah, of course. We've seen how good that they can be. Kyle Whittingham, I think, deservedly the coach of the year in the Pac-12 Conference. First time that Utah has won the Pac-12 since moving from the Mountain West. I do think that Cameron Rising, first-team offense, deserved it. Dorian Thompson-Robinson on the second-team quarterback spot, I got to imagine that he and Anthony Brown were neck and neck. I really believe that from the coach voting. B.J. Baylor and Tavion Thomas were recognized by the first-team offense at running back. Zach Charbonnet and Rashad White from UCLA and Arizona State, respectively, recognized as the running backs. I think Travis Dye was right there. Those are maybe my only two that I'm like, I maybe felt a little bit differently about that. But for TJ Bass, this was an impressive year. Played the most snaps of any Oregon offensive player. 856 snaps that TJ Bass was in there. Started the first 6 games at left guard, the final 7 at left tackle for TJ Bass. He had an outstanding year. I think that TJ Bass is such a great example of when you can come from the junior college level, get the reps here at the Division I level, and you can be a great offensive lineman. We saw that this year from TJ Bass. His grades, 84.4 overall grade by Pro Football Focus, the 8th best among Pac-12 offensive linemen, and an 89.8 run blocking grade, which was the 5th best among the Pac-12 offensive linemen. All right, I stand corrected. Evan with a great point. Verone McKinley not getting first team is ridiculous. Yeah, you're right. That is, yep, You're right, Evan. I missed that one. You are correct. He's on my list of guys that were honored, but yeah. Now wait a second. Isn't he on the first team? He is! Evan, you're lying to me here. You're making me second guess myself. Verone McKinley is on the first team. Did I not mention him? Did I do this wrong? TJ Bass, Brandon Dorliss, Verone McKinley, Noah Sewell, Kayvon Thibodeau. First team. Evan, you scared me for a second there, man. I was second guessing myself. I was like, God, did I have my notes right? And I would maybe agree with Dustin. The Ryan Walk got a little bit snubbed. I think that Ryan Walk, though, because he was injured at the end of the year, that always hurts you for all conference recognition. So Verone McKinley, though, yeah, one of the 3 finalists for the Jim Thorpe Award given to the nation's top defensive back. He is a Pac-12 all-conference first-teamer. Leads the nation with 6 interceptions this year, and second on Oregon with 71 total tackles. An ESPN All-American as well. I think he's going to be completely on all these lists. So, Evan, hey, I thought my notes were wrong. I really did. Brandon Dorliss finished the regular season, 23 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks. He was third on the team in tackles for loss. A 79.5 overall grade by Pro Football Focus, which was the second best among Pac-12 interior defensive linemen. I thought Brandon Dorliss had one of those years where early on he was underappreciated. Then a lot of people like myself started saying, hey, he's having a great year. And now it's nice to see that he's getting recognized because I think Brandon Dorliss has had a really good year. In fact, I remember before the Washington State game, before the WSU game, we were actually talking with their broadcast crew, and they said, yeah, Kayvon Thibodeau is going to draw a lot of attention. Yeah, Noah Sewell. Yeah, Verone McKinley. But, man, the Washington State coaches really zeroed in on Brandon Dorliss, liked what he was doing. Great praise for Brandon Dorliss. Noah Sewell, Pac-12 All-Conference first team, tied for number 2 in the Pac-12 with 106 tackles, 35 more than any other Duck. That's like Troy Dye type numbers. Remember when Troy Dye just had this chasm between the numbers that he put up for tackles and then it was everybody else? That's what Noah Sewell did this year, I felt like. He was always around the ball. First Duck with 100 tackles in a season since Troy Dye in 2018. He had 6 double-digit tackle performances. Noah Sewell was outstanding. A 2-time Pac-12 Freshman of the Week. Kayvon Thibodeau, first-team All-Conference for the second year in a row. Finalist for the Nagurski and the Bednarik. Tied for third in the Pac-12 with 7 sacks, and that's not even playing all of his games. He didn't even play the full schedule, and Kayvon Thibodeau was still really, really good. A 91.5 pass rush grade by Pro Football Focus, which was the 9th best among FBS edge defenders, and I have to wonder if he was 100% the whole year. God, what a year it could have been. 2-time Pac-12 Defensive Player and Defensive Lineman of the Week. Reason that he is on that list. Alex Forsyth, Pac-12 All-Second Team, started 8 of the 13 games at center, coming off the bench once, missing 4 games due to injury, and that's another guy. I think that if he plays the whole Pac-12 season, Forsyth's probably a first-team type guy because he allowed just 2 sacks and 6 quarterback pressures in 257 pass blocking opportunities, according to Pro Football Focus. Camden Lewis was 12 of 15 on field goals while recording touchbacks. He's a second-team all-conference guy. Popo Amavai, Pac-12 honorable mention. Finished the regular season 36 tackles and an 81.3 overall grade by PFF. So again, in those grades, I know that I'm kind of running through the grades for you. What those mean, it's on a scale of, I think 99 is the highest, or 100 with Pro Football Focus. So you get the idea. You know, it's honestly a little bit like a Madden rating. Like, that's kind of what the grades end up feeling like. Anthony Brown led the Pac-12 with 3,320 total yards of offense this season. Pac-12 All-Conference honorable mention. Travis Dye, number 3 in the Pac-12 in rushing yards, his first career 1,000-yard rushing season. And then Ryan Walk and Mikael Wright, the other 2 honored by the Pac-12. Rob Moseley's here, ladies and gentlemen. That means we're going to talk some football when we come back to the Country Financial Studio. We just ran through all the honors for the Ducks. See what Rob Moseley thinks about a lot of things next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When you went car shopping, you meant business. You aced vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesmaned the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org, because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM. Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. He's Rob Moseley, the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com. He looks refreshed, had a little bit of a fun trip, and we were just joking during the break, and you tweeted about this, that when you get time off from covering sports, what do? You go watch sports,
yes,
my friend. Welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, I went to watch, got home from the football game, which feels like it was about 2 weeks ago at this point.
Sure.
Went up to Portland to cover some Oregon women's basketball Saturday. Kept going north. Went to the Seahawks 49ers game Sunday. Didn't work out how I hoped it would.
Yeah, go Niners.
But the Penguins, then I stuck around to watch the Penguins, which is the whole point of the trip, on Monday, and they played great and scored a bunch of goals. And
you got to see a brand new arena.
Yep, which is fantastic. They did an awesome job with Key Arena. Yeah, it's totally different facility. Yeah, they like kept the roof, scraped the rest of it. They sunk it so they could get more seats in. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. That's a cool trip. So that's where Rob was this past weekend. Meanwhile, you were tuning in from afar during kind of a big news day.
Yeah.
That had to be
news days. Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely weird to just be like sort of taking it all in like just anybody else, you know.
Twitter refreshing.
Sunday and Monday. Yeah. It's kind of nice to kind of have it out of the way for the Penguin game, so I wasn't like distracted by that.
Did it for you, buddy.
In terms of timing. Yeah. I put in some calls.
That's right.
If you guys could just finalize
make a call.
Whatever direction it's going to go, just get it done before the puck drops. And lo and behold.
Well done.
Yeah.
Way to get it done.
Others
for
will
all of
say
us.
it was just a coincidence.
Sure.
Don't believe it.
Don't believe them.
Don't believe it.
Yep. Don't believe a thing. Oh, God. So, all right, I'm going to ask you the question that everybody wants me to ask you is, you got any news? Any insight? I mean, everybody wants to know, Rob. You know everything.
Who the football coach is going to be?
That's right.
No, I mean, I'm fascinated. For as much as people are passing on their tips, I am not consulted on this.
That's right. I said the same thing yesterday.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think
there are people that make a lot more money that are a lot smarter than us.
Not only do they not value my opinion, I don't think they value me passing on someone else's opinion
That's so true.
any higher. So, no, it's going to be I see kind of 4 camps of Oregon fans right now. There's the programs, and they're all right. All these points of view are valid. There's the program's on a great track right now. Continuity is vital. So maybe you promote from within, something like that. There's another camp that says, hey, recruiting at this level, we're seeing the dividends, it pays. That, somebody who maintains that, which I think credit to Coach Cristobal. I mean, maintaining the energy he brings to recruiting would be hard for anybody else.
He's elite.
He's great. He's great at that. I think there's the camp that says, hey, the recent tradition of this program and what made Oregon different and special was entertaining, high-scoring offense. Let that be a priority. And I think there's a couple candidates that you see kind of rumored out there that might check that box. So, and then there's, hey, this program has going back even longer before that, this program has a tradition of guys who put down roots here and make Oregon home. And, there's a candidate or two that probably checks that box too, at least in the public perception. I don't know who the official candidates are, but, in just terms of what's kind of being the conjecture out there. So
we see all the same Twitter feeds that you do.
Exactly. And we are not much better informed than that.
That's right.
If at all. So, yeah, I mean, the bottom line is checking all those boxes in one candidate will be really, really hard. So, if you try to make everyone happy, you usually end up making nobody happy. So, but again, that's why, elite administrators get paid big bucks to make tough decisions. I mean, I think, Rob Mullins has a track record of hiring coaches here that's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you look at the decisions made in the football program. There's been times people have been promoted within, and they've sustained success, and there's times that outside candidates have brought in, and I think particularly with Coach Taggart in 2017, you needed a cultural change, and it paid dividends, and it was one step in setting the stage for kind of where we're at now. Talking about a team that's played for the last 3 conference titles and won 2 of them, so I think you just say, hey, people with track records of making good decisions have a chance to make another one. And we can't wait to see who it is.
That's right.
The honest truth for anyone listening to this is, we'll state the obvious. We're gonna celebrate and have the back of whoever it is.
That's right.
Because they're gonna be a Duck and they're gonna want to be a Duck, and we're here to support the Ducks. So
that's our job.
Yes. But you also can't fake stuff like that. I mean, that's gonna be real. That's gonna be that enthusiasm's gonna be legit because. As I mentioned to somebody on Twitter, like the only thing you can do is view this as an opportunity, and try to get even better. I mean, that's the only mindset worth a darn in a situation like this.
I think you're right.
Say, hey, thanks, Coach Cristobal. Good luck. We get it. Now let's see if we can. No program is perfect, so let's see if we can get better in some possible ways. Yeah.
I agree. I think that's well said. I mean, that's what I've been kind of breaking down, as you can imagine, over the last couple of days. And one thing that I thought Rob Mullins said that I really appreciated is he was like, look, we've had some turnover in this program and in the leadership of the program. But look at how much success that they've still had in the Oregon football program. I mean, that speaks to a lot of different things, right? It speaks to the passion of the fan base. It speaks to the players that are on the field, the players that have been recruited by the different coaches. I mean, there's so many things that go into it.
Right.
But you outline those camps of fans. I mean, what they all have in common is you got to pick a leader who's going to continue what's going forward.
Right.
However, stylistically they do it.
Right.
That's what is ultimately on the line here.
Yeah. Ultimately, for all those different goals and desires and visions people have, if you're winning games, people will generally be pretty satisfied.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
You know, how you going about doing it is something we argue about because we have nothing better to do when you're winning games. But if you're not winning games, then it's a whole different argument, and nobody's happy in that case. So, continue success. And I think too, these are nuanced things. I don't mean to suggest that these aren't secondary points, but when you talk about people like Herb Yamanaka, when you talk about people in the relationship he has with a lot of pretty vital supporters of this program, when you talk about people like Chief in the athletic training room and Kenny Farr in the equipment room, the people that deal with that deal with the kids day in, day out, they're so vital to the culture and to sort of the sustained commitment to this program and to being a successful program and to sort of just doing whatever it takes, working all hours, being available to do whatever it takes. Those are critical interests too, and the continuity from people like that, is not to be overlooked as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head, because we showed Kenny's tweet. I think is very legendary, honestly, at this point. Kenny Farr, if you missed it on the show earlier, we showed it. Maybe you saw it on social media at KFarGoDucks. Kenny outlined it. He was like, hey, on December 5th, 2017, he said, this program is much bigger than any individual coach or player. Total focus is on taking care of the guys that want to be here today like every other day. Great day to be an Oregon Duck. As true today as it was 4 years ago. Kenny tweeted that out a couple days ago. I mean, that's exactly what you're talking about.
Totally. I mean, the people who are devoted, committed to this program and committed to it being successful and committed to, Rob Mullen says it all the time, student-athlete experience, just doing whatever it takes to try to help, the guys on the field be successful. There's still some continuity there too, and some of that might change if through a coaching change, but some of it won't. Some of it's going to stay consistent and for good reason. So that there are reasons that despite coaching changes, this program has continued to be successful for most of the last quarter century.
Well, and the least important part is that we'll still be here rooting for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right. See, I mean, that's, hey.
The least important part.
Absolutely. Hey, we have our role.
Yep.
We know it.
Absolutely.
If I got to lay down a bunt, Rob, I'm going to lay down a bunt.
Absolutely.
That's my job.
If I got to empty out the spit cups and make new Gatorade, they wouldn't want me to do anything more
What's
than
your
that,
Gatorade mix flavors? Everybody's got one.
Yeah, I tend, if I'm on the sideline on a hot day, I'm about half and half.
Sure.
Because they make the Gatorade for practice nuclear. It's like
real Gatorade.
Yeah.
So you're a half water, half Gatorade mix with the other guy?
Right.
Fair.
It sticks to you the older you get.
Does it?
You don't want that much sugar.
Yeah, well, sure. I'm a Gatorade Zero
Pick
guy.
and choose where you get your carbs, right?
Yeah, Gatorade Zero.
Yeah.
There's some other beverages that you can have.
I try to get my carbs at the end of the day.
That's right. Good stuff. Rob Moseley, editor-in-chief, GoDucks.com. So, look, a lot to know about football. When we have an announcement, we'll have it for you. There will be a big press conference. There will be a big celebration, and we're looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
And I know a lot of people are asking, hey, you got to get this done because signing day is a week away from today. And,
hey, you know who knows that?
Rob Mullins.
Yes.
That's what I was just going to say, and I've been saying that the last couple of days. But you do have to get it right.
Totally.
We've talked about this before, and I know everybody's probably tired of hearing it.
Right.
But the reason that these things take time is because, well, it takes the time that it takes to be successful.
There's no doubt that with the talent that's been assembled by Coach Cristobal and his staff in these last few recruiting classes, there's a window right now to really take advantage of. And you want somebody that is going to come in and be ready to hit the ground running and take advantage of that. But there is also the interest, too, for a lot of people to see somebody who's going to be here long term as well. And in neither one of those cases can you afford to make a knee-jerk reaction. This program is going to attract great players, but that's the bottom line.
Yeah. All right, so we do have an Alamo Bowl now to also be talking about. Coach Brian McClendon, he's the interim head coach, his staff, and we talked about BMAC yesterday. The guys call him BMAC, the wide receivers coach, now the interim head coach, has been an interim head coach before.
Did you look up the circumstances of that too?
When he was at Georgia?
Right.
Well, he actually told the story a little bit on the coach's show, so I have to.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, it's just wild that this is the second time he's been interim head coach because the guy left for Miami.
Yeah. Kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was Coach Richt.
Right.
And then,
he went to Miami.
Yeah, weird.
That's wild.
It is a little bit
So
odd.
attention, future head coach. If you hire Brian McClendon, you might be going to Miami.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. So, but, hey, this is also, and I know that, like, Rob Mullins talked a lot about this, too. Like, this is still a bowl experience and a bowl game.
Right.
First time the Alamo Bowl's ever had 2 10-win teams playing each other in it. I mean, it's wild.
I just loved Verone McKinley's comment, and it was so, it showed how wise that kid is in particular right after the game. You got 2 choices. You can go either be bummed and go get whooped again, and how good is that going to feel?
Right.
Not. Or you can set the stage for 2022. One of those 2 things is going to happen. And you got 2-3 weeks here, whatever it is, to decide. 3 weeks? Is it 3 weeks from today?
Yes.
Whoa.
21 days.
Wild.
With Christmas in between.
Yeah, you got 3 weeks now to get your head wrapped around preparing to accept one of those outcomes and to ask yourself, which one of those outcomes do I want to have to swallow, and what can I do between now and then to put myself in position to enjoy the more favorable one. So, I love that from Verone. Just that's what you want a leader to sound like, and he does. And I was proud of those guys. I was proud of Forsyth talking about the focus of the team. I mean, people were wondering about, hey, rumors were flying the day of the game. Alex Forsyth legitimately got off the podium and was like, what are all these questions people were asking me about distractions? Like, that's how not tuned in people were to, like, fan rumors on Twitter that day. I mean, they just got beat, and it was unfortunate, and, Utah has Oregon's number this year.
They do.
So credit to them, and go win a Rose Bowl.
Well, let's end with this.
Happy I didn't want to say it. It was harder to swallow and accept and enunciate Friday or Saturday, but like given all they've gone through, and knowing we're lucky enough to know how awesome the Rose Bowl is. For them to be able to end this year of all years with that experience,
I agree.
You are happy for them. Do I wish it was us and not them?
100%.
100%.
100%.
But given everything they've been through, that is. There's nothing like going to a Rose Bowl. There's no more bigger feeling of like a reward for a season than getting that experience, how first class that experience is. And given everything they've been through, it is, you do kind of tip your hat that, hey, you went through something over the last 14 months or whatever that no program should have to endure. So it's nice you're going to be able to go enjoy yourselves, and it's only truly enjoyable if you win too. So go get a win.
And those of you who aren't familiar with what Rob's talking about, they had 2 players in the last calendar year pass away. Really sad. Really sad. Well, Travis says, I hope Rod Mullins doesn't see a single Twitter feed. So glad that Twitter doesn't hire coaches.
Yeah.
Me too.
Touche. Yes.
Me too.
Yep.
Well, we'll have a lot more to talk to you about next week. Ducks are going to get back to practice. It's finals week. It was a scheduled off week, so the Ducks are going to be getting back to practice. Rob and I will have Quack Minutes. He'll have practice reports on GoDucks.com as the Ducks get back to those practice fields. So. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Enjoy the rest of the week, and then we'll see you at Matthew Knight Arena on Saturday.
The irony was like how much I was looking forward to this week to unplug a little bit.
I know,
no games, no practices.
I said the exact same thing.
I'm gonna keep sweatpants on all week.
Yeah.
I had to put good trousers on just for you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
you could have worn sweatpants.
No problem. Yeah.
On Friday, I probably will, unless who knows what the news cycle is going to do.
Right.
But on Friday, I will likely be in sweatpants.
You can do the whole news anchor thing, where as long as you look professional, waist up.
That's right. I mean,
no
anchor who sits behind a desk. I'm telling you right now, no anchor that you watch on TV who sits behind a desk and never moves, he is not wearing pants. He is wearing shorts, basketball shorts. It's just what we do.
Yeah, it's comfy.
Unfortunately, I am not that today.
No. Well, you're a pro's pro.
Khakis today. Well, that's not true.
Khakis
today. And that's
He's
it
an
for Rob
amateur's
Moseley.
pro. He's a pro's amateur.
I think I'm an amateur's amateur.
An amateur's amateur.
Uh-oh. Rob Moseley's the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com. Thanks for the insight, buddy.
Absolutely.
And, all right, we're going to get a break. Come back. Nils Schyllander is going to join us after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Toyota-thon is on at your local Toyota dealer. Treat yourself to great deals on the sleek first ever 2022 Corolla Cross or the powerful all-new 2022 Tundra. It's all happening right now during Toyota-thon. Toyota, let's go places.
What's with Mountain Dew? Mountain Dew is like a zip line of incredible flavor directly into your brain. Mountain Dew is like getting punched in the mouth with pure neon refreshment that creates a neural explosion, sending flavor shards of electric brain pulses into your very core of being. Okay, maybe that's a little over the top, but you get the idea. The fact is, the mind-bending challenge of describing the taste of Mountain Dew is way harder than just experiencing it. That, of course, is easy. Just grab an ice cold Dew, crack it open, and toss them back. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
Toyota-thon is on at your local Toyota dealer. Treat yourself to great deals on the sleek first-ever 2022 Corolla Cross or the powerful all-new 2022 Tundra. It's all happening right now during Toyota-thon. Toyota. Let's go places.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom!
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
America, your children have an amazing superpower. That's right. They can help save lives by simply washing their hands. Just 20 seconds of thorough hand washing after they've coughed or sneezed or been outside can help fight against the dastardly spread of germs. Armed with only soap and water and hands, your superhero can protect you, your family, and everyone out there in America land. Amazing! Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
Back in the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Yesterday, we got the chance to sit down with Nils Schyllander, a really successful fall season. We dove into a lot of different conversation topics with the Oregon men's tennis head coach. Thought that he was going to be on vacation in Sweden right now. Unfortunately, he was stuck talking to us. You'll hear that in our conversation coming up. Anytime I get a chance to talk with you, I have to remind everybody that the most valuable thing on the desk came from you.
I got to upgrade you soon.
Well, okay, so those of you who have not heard the story, tennis ball signed by
Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, John McEnroe.
I'm telling you, this is the most valuable thing that we have on the desk. This is why we have a locked door for the studio, is for that exact
I got to get
thing.
you a shirt with those guys' signature on to hang on the wall.
Well, we're
That's
in for
next.
that. I mean,
yeah.
And Richard, this is Richard. If you haven't met Richard, this is our mannequin. I mean, he could wear the shirt.
He could.
I think he's a medium. Is that right? I think he's a medium.
Well, I don't think I have any of those.
A large,
I will make something happen.
A
How
large
about that?
fits, though. I mean,
yeah.
you know, that's just how it goes. Well, let's talk a little bit of tennis. Coach Nils Schylander's here. Hey, how you doing? I mean, just how are things now that we're actually able to talk with you in the studio again? Thanks for being here.
I know. No, things are good. We've been busy, hectic. It's probably been one of the busier falls I can remember in recent memory.
Put it into context for fans, Coach. Just how is this fall different from last fall, and just how much better it is to have everybody back around a little more normal?
Yeah, well, I think it goes with everything, right? This fall was different than last fall. I mean, last fall we couldn't even compete. Right. We didn't really have much of the team on campus. This year was a full slate, full ITA slate, Intercollegiate Tennis Association, which is our governing body. They had a couple of the Grand Slam events, which we participated in, and, try to fit out other wins around it. And then we had some injuries and looking for other opportunities, so we added some events, and it was a lot of hotel nights.
A lot of hotel nights, which I know that hotel nights suck, but it was probably nice to have those events again, and hotel nights are worth the price, right?
I take it any day of the week.
No kidding, man. It's wild to me because I remember last time you and I were talking, it was like how things are so different. You're sitting there from Zoom talking to us.
I know.
So what was that like for your student athletes? I mean, because you have we talked about this before. You have a very international roster. I mean, what was this whole process like? What are you still dealing with in that regard?
Well, I think everybody was just happy to be back. And for us, it was really hard to have Zoom meetings, things like that, because we're in about every time zone you can think about.
Right.
A normal time zone for me might be 2 in the morning for someone. So we actually just stayed in touch individually mostly. And I think the team did a really good job of staying in touch individually with each other, too. So when they came back in January last year, it was great, and we had a great season. But it's just nice to have everybody under one roof again.
So you guys have gone to Tulsa, been to Seattle. You hosted a couple tournaments in the fall. Give us the Cliff Notes version. How do you think the team performed in the fall, dealing with some adversity?
Yeah, Tulsa was good doubles-wise, which we struggled a little bit last year, and doubles has been kind of our MO. But we had 2 teams make a great run out there, and that's the All-American Championships, by the way, which is the best players in the country.
Not bad.
No, it's an okay tournament. And we had 2 teams really make a run deep, and I think Josh and Quinn finished top 8 in the country there. Probably should have moved on and let one slip in a 3-set loss to Ohio State. Jesper and our newcomer Ivayo had a great run and made the finals of the Consolation Championships. And the Consolation Championships was like the NC2As. It's all NC2A caliber teams. So they had a great run, and unfortunately, Iva took an injury, and he hasn't, played a match since. But we're very hopeful that he's going to be back when we start up again in January. Or actually, we got some really good news on it here today. So
well, this is a good thing. This is why
we break news.
Yeah, we didn't plan to have that when we scheduled you for today. But hey, when you deal with injuries, and you guys, as you talked about, and I've talked about all these tournaments on the show in the past. And you guys, it seemed like the lineup has to change, right?
Yeah.
And tennis, it's interesting. In college, it's a team sport, but it's still kind of an individual sport, or it's a doubles. It's a 2-person sport. But it affects everything when you have an injury, doesn't it?
No, it does, because people need to move around in the lineup. And, I mean, tennis in general has its ebbs and flows, right? You play better at certain times and you peak, and it's such a long season. I mean, literally it's all year that lineups will change naturally in regards to how the players perform. But when someone is out, then you really are running out of choices, and people have to move and play in a slot they're not used to playing in. And it's not, men's tennis, the reality is there's 4.5 scholarships to fill 6 slots, and once you take one out, it's hard to be just next man up mentality.
No kidding. So, and it's not only like, your number 3 person in singles, maybe then your number 4 has to move up to 3.
Yeah.
It's also in doubles, right? I mean, how do you go about that as a coach? Like, do you shake up your doubles teams throughout practice, or once you find the one that you're going to go, how do you handle that?
Yeah, I mean, ideally we'd like to find the constellations that we think going to work, but again, people are going to peak and not peak, and sometimes it gets a little bit still, and then you're going to have to stir the pot a little bit and do a little smash and grab and mix things around. Whatever works.
Yeah. Nils Schyllander joining us, Oregon men's tennis head coach. So we talked about the fall Duck Invitational to finish up in November. It's always nice when you have a doubles team that wins your own tournament, right? That's fun.
No, absolutely. They play great. But the highlight of that tournament was the singles final, 2 teammates, and that was a high quality match. It was one of the most physical matches I've seen.
Oh, really?
Jesper versus Josh, and that thing went with the scoring system and no ad scoring. Nobody has any idea what I'm talking about right now, but you get to deuce or 40 all, you play 1 point for it now, just to speed up matches.
Do you like that?
Yeah, actually in the beginning I was hesitant.
It's different.
Because it's different.
Yeah.
I mean, you grow up and tennis is supposed to be this way, right? It's a traditional sport.
Right.
And it's like taking a symphony and turning it into a rock show.
Yeah, that's weird.
And it's just fast. It's just fast, and that shortens matches a lot. But, say traditionally a match that would be 2.5 hours could be down to 1 hour 15, but those 2 with no ad scoring played for about 3 hours. It was crazy. Jesper's feet afterwards, I haven't seen feet that blistered up for a decade.
Just so much moving. And
so much moving and sliding on those hard courts, and they were pretty wrecked, both of them, afterwards. They were out of practice for a few days.
No kidding. Well, so that's what you want, though, right?
Yeah,
as a
it was
coach?
Unbelievable. It was great.
So I should have told Scott to pull this picture, but I have to tell you, you have the best trophy I've ever seen.
Oh, the duck one?
The Duck Invite Doubles Champion, guys. It's literally just the trophy is then just a duck on the top. And
well, here's the thing: is I can't take credit for it.
Okay.
It's my my partner in crime, Aaron Spencer. He when we started the Duck Invite, ordered the trophies. He goes, let's just get a really nice marble base and glue a rubber duck to it. I said, that is brilliant. I'm extending you.
Oh, my God. It's great. So I got to tell you, so I saw the image of it, and I feel like I had seen it before, but when I saw it in November of this year, I was like, that is the best trophy I've ever seen.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, and the best thing, it's the nicest marble base, too.
Yeah.
With a rubber duck it's fantastic.
Is this the kind of trophy that if you picked it up by the duck, the marble is so heavy that the glue wouldn't hold it on?
Oh, no, there's some serious super glue on that thing.
I love that so much. I love it so much. We're going to have more with Nils Schyllander. We had a lot of fun yesterday talking with the Oregon men's tennis head coach. Stick with us, Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear past, present, and future football watchers, football is back! So consider this your official excuse for always putting football watching first, courtesy of Pepsi. That haircut appointment? Seeing the in-laws for the first time in ages.
It's been so long!
Nope, sorry, Susan, not if it's on Sunday. Long story short, after the year we've all had, we think you could use a little football watching. So crack open a Pepsi and cheer your football watching face off. With love, Pepsi. Made for football watching. That's what I like.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Watch out! You got me! The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Yesterday, we caught up with Nils Schyllander, the Oregon men's tennis head coach. Had a great conversation here coming up about being the longest tenured coach in Oregon athletics and continuing to talk about his squad with the Oregon men's tennis head coach, Nils Schyllander. Hey, I want to go back and ask you a little bit about the change in scoring. What went into that for tennis at the collegiate level? Was
to make it more TV friendly, to make the matches shorter, because you could have a dual match to go for 4.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Now you rarely see a match go to 3 hours.
Yeah.
So with Pac-12 networks had been airing quite a few matches, and with the Tennis Channel picking up the NCAA championships and things like that, it was just became more TV friendly, and I think the crowd loves it.
Yeah.
Because there's always something. You have 6 courts going on at the same time, and there's always something happening. And it makes it very appealing for the fans.
That's what I've always noticed and I tell people this when they're always like, well, what's it like? You're so used to watching like one match when you go to watch tennis, and instead with this, you're kind of bouncing around. I've told people that I love that. Like, I love going into the tennis center and being able to kind of look and watch the scoreboards, and I'm sure that's maddening as a coach because you're trying to keep up with so many different things, but I think it's fun for a fan.
Oh, no, it's fantastic. And there's always going to be something great going on. And you can kind of pick and choose where you want to watch, but it also, the matches tend to come down towards one court at the end, and then everybody congregates there.
And I've seen that happen, and I've done that, right? Like, I've been the fan that's like, oh, this is the one to watch. Coaches do that. Do the players feel that happening? Like, or do you try not to let them feel that?
We try to don't scoreboard watch, because once you start looking at, oh, they got it covered, or they're losing, I have to win, but oh no, this is in the bag because we're winning at 2, 5, and 6. then bad things happen.
Right.
But you know what? It's the human element. It's almost impossible.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but I guess that's good coaching, right? When you can get them to kind of zone in.
We try our hardest. We try our hardest.
How much of tennis, and I think I know the answer to this question before I ask it, the physical nature of the sport is important, but
yeah.
I feel like tennis, maybe more so than other sports, there's an acute mental game to it.
It is. I mean, there's so many pressure points.
Yeah.
And when you're out there by yourself, too, you really feel it, and everybody's watching. But it's a very, very physical sport. It's twisting and turning. I mean, the athleticism is ridiculous. Yeah. It's moving every kind of direction, changing direction, and it's for extended period of times. We don't have any timeouts we can take.
Yeah.
So it's they're remarkable athletes.
That is odd. Now that you say that, I never really thought about that before. Like it's got to be one of the only sports where there's no such thing as a timeout.
Yeah, or hey, how fun would it be though, hypothetically, if we could do what they do in baseball and have a bullpen?
A bullpen?
Yeah. I mean, how great would that be?
I love that.
You got guys been battling for 2 hours and serving for the match, and then you just pick up the phone, call the bullpen. You have your 6'7" guy,
awesome,
that just serves all week to get ready for this moment.
Awesome.
Goes out and just hits 4 bombs, and you walk off.
Hey, that's how you make it a true. That's the definition of the team sport aspect. Of
I know, right?
I mean, that's. I like that. I like that. Nils Schyllander joining us. What's coming up, Coach? Probably a little bit of a holiday break. It's finals week as we're talking with you right now, so academics are a focus. What's next on the horizon for you guys?
Well, I was supposed to be at home in Sweden right now, but my travel plans got canceled with all the restrictions starting to take place over there. So, Mom and Dad, you get to see me here instead. Here we go.
We're doing our part.
They're our biggest fans, by the way. I got to give them credit. Dad's turning 85. Oh, wow. He will sit up at 2 in the morning and stream our matches.
Nice.
So anyways, hopefully this summer we'll get together. Yeah. But yeah, coming up next, we're finishing up finals this week. Mm-hmm. Just got to get through that. And then we're coming back and it's full go. We got about 1 week before our first dual match of the season.
Okay.
And hopefully we can make another great run at the NCAA championships.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been so much fun for me to talk with you over the years and see the way the program, you guys are just so consistent. And it's not just athletically. I want to talk about that in a second. But first, back to its finals week. You guys had another perfect GSR rating, which is that's a measure of graduation, and it's important, right? Student athletes.
I mean, it's the reason it's called student athlete. And we've done an exceptional job as a program, and all the credit goes to the student athletes. And the Jaquo Center.
I was going to say Jaquo Center, but Coach, you're a humble guy, but I'll tell you, that starts at the top, doesn't it? I mean, the head coach, you have to put a priority on academics for them to really buy into it too.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not going to take any credit from them. They do all the work, right? But if someone ever comes and says, Coach, today I really need to focus on my academics, can I sit this session out? Absolutely.
Right.
I don't think we've ever said no in my 21 years here.
See, I think that's what it's all about, right? Yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about, because you're earning a degree while getting a chance to compete. You said that before we started recording, you talked to Tom Laurent today.
I did. We were messaging back and forth and talked about, and I still wish he would have made a full run at the Pro Tour, because you'd see him in all the Grand Slam events. So now I'm convinced on that. He's that kind of an exceptional talent, but he does well. He still plays a lot, travels in France and plays a lot of the big events there, and makes a living doing what he loves.
He was an All-American.
That he
here
was.
At Oregon, and it was God, he was fun to watch.
He was. I mean, he was up to 4 in the country, and barring a few injuries, he probably would have an NCAA championship to his name.
No kidding. Where's your team at? I mean, we've talked about a lot of different things over the course of the last few minutes. Where do you think your team's at? What do you like about your squad going into now the winter and spring seasons?
Yeah, well, hopefully we have everybody back on court in January healthy, which, knock on wood, looks like it. Yep, thank you. I think it's as talented as a group as we've had. Our doubles play is better than it was last year by a mile, and I see us being one of the premier doubles programs again. Which you get that one doubles point in the way we score the matches, it's huge.
Yeah.
So we're a leg up right there. Ivaio, who was injured this fall, started off really well. He's going to add a ton to this group. And, you know, several guys that were on the team that have improved a lot over the fall from what they were last year, too. And, you know, I feel really good about it, but it's fragile. So you got to get lucky and work hard, and hopefully good things will happen.
Well, you're just getting healthy.
That we're
helps.
taking care of that part. Thank you, Lindsay.
Yeah, well done.
No, Lindsay's our academic. Thank you, Eleanor, for that one.
See, it takes everybody.
It takes a village.
It takes a village. I always say this. You know, every trip that I go on, I always say it takes a village. I mean, it is amazing how much goes into it to have a successful program. Now, I'm curious too, Coach. Like you mentioned the doubles point, so I take it that was a focus for you guys to get better at heading into this year and throughout this fall.
When we did recruiting, that was a big part of what we focused on. We need to get the doubles back where we have Oregon doubles again. And I felt like we addressed that.
Nice. Lastly, you are the longest tenured coach in the athletic department.
By a mile.
Yeah, we were talking about this before we pressed record. Can you put into words for fans, you know, from when you started in 1999 to where Oregon is now, how much has the department changed, grown, improved? I don't know the right word to lead you into this question.
Well, I think you hit all of everything right there. I mean, it's like any other entity, right? You grow with time, and you know, our leadership here at the University of Oregon is absolutely outstanding. I don't think there's a better leadership in the country. You know, it's definitely a lot more business-like than it used to be, but that's the same in any business. And it's a special place. It's a special place. There's a reason I'm still here. You know, thankfully we've been doing well enough to where they keep me around, but you know, I've had opportunities to go, and it's just never was appealing to me because I'm in the place I love.
Well, we're glad you're here. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
You make me feel good.
Well, you know, I love talking with you, Coach. I root for your squad so much because I just love the way that you go about your business, and I could say that probably to every coach around here these days, which is awesome. Because I'm telling you right now, like as Graham Abel said when he got the job here, he was like, no, this is a family-oriented business. Like it is awesome to hear that from somebody like Graham who's been around. And you know, Coach, he said it. He was like, this is what it's all about, you know, like you have to have it that way. So I could sit here and say this, and everyone who's a Duck fan is going to be like, oh, of course you have to say that. Well, no, I'm telling you, like people who have been at other athletic departments come and they're like, no, this is different.
And I could have been in other Power 5 conferences, but you know what? There's no place like Oregon.
I love it.
There really isn't. And by the way, Coach Abel is one of the most fun guys to chat to in this department because we share one passion, and that's soccer.
Yep.
You know, it's whenever I'm done and they don't want me anymore here, I'm just going to move down the hallway and be his assistant. I know all about the press, and you know, I'm ready.
All right, I like that. Well, hey, he's been an awesome. We always joke that Coach Abel has to make the really long walk to come on the show with us, right? Because his office is right across from ours.
8 feet.
Yeah, it's a really long stroll. But man, no, this has been great, Coach. I'll give fist bump again. I can't thank you enough. Enjoy the holidays. I'm sorry you weren't able to get to Sweden, but hopefully soon, huh?
Hopefully soon. Hopefully. After another very successful Oregon tennis season.
That's right. We'll catch up with you again, I'm sure, coming up. And, hey, best of luck, huh?
Fantastic. Thanks, Joey.
Nils Schyllander, the Oregon men's tennis head coach. Had a great conversation catching up with him. When we come back, your Cafe 2-minute drill, looking at the schedule ahead for the Ducks here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Okay, forest animals, kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow, have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. River, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man.
I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel.
The forest has been preparing just for you. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you inside the Country Financial Studio. 2-Minute Drill always brought to you by our friends at Cafe Yum, restaurants throughout Oregon and Washington. Menus, nutrition info at cafeyum.com. Well, as you can imagine, during finals week, it's a little bit of a shorter 2-minute drill. It's really like a 30-second offense today because the Ducks, for women's basketball, they will be taking on Long Beach State 2 o'clock on Saturday, a 1:30 pregame show with Terry Johns. And then the Oregon men, I'll be on the road with them for a 4 o'clock tip-off on Sunday against Stanford. This is one of those early Pac-12 conference games when the conference made the move to a 20-game schedule. That's why you have these one-offs. Like the Ducks hosted Arizona State, but they didn't host Arizona. Now they're going to go to Stanford, but they're not going to go to Berkeley. So the Ducks will try to bounce back, honestly. Oregon men's basketball head coach Dane Altman met with the media today. We'll have that full press conference for you on the show tomorrow as Coach Altman outlined everything that has gone wrong, frankly, for the Ducks. They're disappointed with their start, and it's going to take some time. It's going to take a lot of work to right this ship, and their next opportunity to do it is after finals, and then they will play Stanford on Sunday. That's your Cafe Yum 2-minute drill. I know everybody wants to know who the coach is going to be for the Ducks. I don't have an update. But when I have an update, we'll have it for you. And those of you that are tuning in on your Oregon Sports Network affiliate stations, if you're not listening on the podcast or if you're not listening on watching the show on one of the social media platforms, we will have the press conference whenever it takes place. We'll have it live for you across the radio network. That is our plan. Well, tomorrow, Toby Rowland, voice of the Sooners. That'll kick us off. See you then.
Okay, man. This is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're going to go out there and be an all-star caregiver. Cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You got to dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Show the world that you're tougher than tough.
Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
To some, the sound